Good day, everyone. So in this video, I want to try and drop an insane amount of value, and I'm literally going to break down the exact appointment setting framework that I came up with myself, that has literally allowed me to generate over six figures in monthly revenue for the business I currently work for. The good thing about this is that this framework is completely non-offer dependent. It'll work regardless of what you're selling. So whether you selling consulting, fitness, training of any sort, coaching, you can literally watch this video, steal this framework, implement it into your own sales process or business, and I can almost guarantee you're going to start seeing results in this today. So with that said, let's dive straight into it. So who is this for, first and foremost? Number one, if you're an appointment setter already, you work in sales, you're looking to make money, maybe your current script or sales process isn't working, this is absolutely for you. Maybe you're a business owner, small business, large business, you want to improve your appointment setting process and train your team. Or maybe number three is that you're just a sales rep, an SDR, a closer, and you kind of want to improve your text-based follow-up or messaging, then this is almost certainly going to help with that as well, I guarantee. So I guess why should you listen to me? Who am I? So my name's Will, and I'm currently working as an operations manager for a seven-figure annual info product sort of coaching business in the property niche. So I actually got started in this in the online business space through working in appointment setting. I essentially came from no sales background. I'd worked in a little bit of a state agency, so a little bit of house sales, but not too much, to be honest. So yeah, it's very little sales background, very little business background, to be completely honest. But I got stuck in, and within a couple of months, landed my first role as an appointment setter. I helped create this direct messaging framework that I then went on to generate over six figures in 1 month in revenue for the business I'm currently working for using this. So that's me. If I can do it, there's no reason why you guys can't come in, take this, and use it for yourself and have success with it too. So I guess a little bit of context as to why this works and why it's effective. Number one is that this was all done through DM messaging, not phone messaging. In my opinion, DM setting is way superior in most contexts to actually doing phone setting, and there's a couple of good reasons for that. Number one, if you're kind of on the phone, there's quite a lot of pressure to try and set the appointment there and then, kind of similar to how you are on a sales call. You've got to close the deal there and then, or you can close it through follow-up. But obviously, sort of DM setting, it allows you to kind of establish trust, a connection, build rapport over a slightly longer time frame, because that conversation can happen over the course of, well, it can be a day, it can be multiple days, but it can occasionally be a week or two as well, kind of in the worst case, which obviously sort of results in maybe not as much speed to the appointment, but it does establish more trust and builds a better sales process, in my opinion. So number two is also because it allows you to kind of send content, organic content, and kind of break down the sales process a little bit more, meaning you can send them a video, they can go away and watch it, come back to you, tell you what the response is, you can follow up with that. There's a lot more that can happen, whereas obviously if you're on the phone, that's a little bit more difficult in my opinion. You've got to get off the phone with them, send them a video, try and call them again, you can't get through to them, it's just a mess. No one wants that. DM is just way easier, in my opinion. And as I said earlier, it takes away the kind of sales pressure in the conversation as well, because it gives you time to, I guess, think about what you're saying a bit more, just kind of like handle objections a little bit smoothly, and it's just a better process, in my opinion. I guess the second reason as well is that we did this all coming from the business owner's account. You should definitely do this if you can, in my opinion, because if they've been watching the content, they're going to have familiarity with your brand, the business owner potentially, whereas they might not know who you are, obviously. You're going to build that authority as well. If they've been watching their content as someone who's already successful, they're going to have a lot of authority in their niche. And obviously then again as well, it's just going to allow you to build connection and rapport. They're already going to know who they are. They know what they've done. So it's just way more familiarity. Builds better connection and rapport as well. So with that said, that's why this works. Let's dive into it. Here's the script. So I guess the first thing that's really overlooked when it comes to sales processes and appointment setting is that person has done something to allow you to get into contact with them. This is especially relevant when it comes to appointment setting. So this is how I basically structured my opening messages when it comes to kind of engaging new leads, is you've really got to think to yourself, like, what has that person just done that's getting me to send them a message? So have they followed your Instagram page? Have they opted into an ad? Have they just downloaded your ebook, PDF? What have they done that's given you their details? And just reference that in the message, because there was obviously something of interest in getting that whatever it was you were offering them. So just reference that and just start the conversation like that. That's what I did. It's just like, hey, it's the business owner's name, appreciate the following on the page. What was it that got you interested in checking my page? That's like a good one to use on Instagram, for example. Another good one as well, a little bit more sort of nuanced, like, hey, it's my name, thanks for checking out my page. Are you already doing the thing that you're offering, or are you looking to get started with this? And that kind of provokes a bit more thought, a bit more conversation. So yeah, these are good kind of like for Instagram, any sort of social media stuff. This one I specifically used for our kind of VSL opt-in page. So it's like, hey, it's my name. Just seen you watch my training video on getting to the outcome that we promised. What was it that kind of caught your interest in that? So yeah, just the best way to start off the conversation, in my opinion, just reference what it is they've done, how you got their details, and just start the conversation. So hopefully, if you've built some connection with them through content already, they're going to come back to you and hopefully give you a decent answer to that question. Hey, I've been following your page for a while. I'm kind of interested in what you do, and I might like to see how I can get into it myself. So yeah, this is kind of where the discovery, I guess, part of the framework comes in. And I kind of broke this down into 2 steps. I call this the 2-step discovery process in the DMs, where step number 1 was just building some rapport, like opening up the conversation a little bit more, giving you some more information on who they are, what they're looking to do. And then step 2 is I'll dive right into finding a pain point around that situation, or with them trying to get started in our particular niche and offer. So some examples of just what this looked like, it's like, cool, what's your motivation for wanting to do this? I've been working for a long time. I work in corporate finance. I've been doing it for 20 years. I get no time with my kids, and I'm just bored, and I want to get into what you guys are doing. Or like, how long have you wanted to do this? Yeah, I've been thinking about doing it for like 10 years now, 5 years, whatever it is. It's already kind of bringing out some pain, bringing out some information, which opens the conversation for the next part of the framework. Now, in order to proceed with this, you're going to need to sit down and just list 3 or 4 things that your offer specifically helps with in terms of getting into the niche or the industry that you are providing. So let's say a good example is just like, let's say you're a fitness coach. Maybe a couple of examples there are just like you provide one-on-one coaching, or maybe you provide like a customized meal plan or customized training plan. So you can say, okay, cool. Once we reply to the bit above, just say like, okay, cool, totally get that. So what is it that's actually been holding you back from getting started and achieving the goals they've just referenced? Is it like having a customized meal plan, a customized training plan, or do you just need like more one-on-one sort of support or mentoring? Now, there's a reason I did this. I know this question is quite closed-ended, and you're kind of narrowing down the options for them to choose, because it does prompt them to say one of these in response. But it links really, really well into the next part of the framework, because they are gonna answer with one of those things. They are gonna say, oh yeah, I can't get started with this because I haven't had this or haven't had this. Or they might just list something else, which is cool. But as long as they've kind of given you something that you can genuinely help with within your offer, then you've primed them for the next part of the DM process. So the next part basically is linking the pain that you've just found within that discovery process to bringing in your offer, bringing in your coaching, whatever it is you do. So what I use is a formula like this. It's like, okay, cool. I appreciate the insight from that. This is something I specifically helped all my students with, kind of inside whatever your coaching program is called. And then just give them like a quick summary of your offer, or like a quick summary of the outcome that you're going to help them get. So cool. Essentially, what I would do is teach you how to lose 10 pounds of muscle lose 10 pounds of fat rather in the next 90 to 120 days. Something like that. Just a quick, very brief summary. And if you're interested, I can share more details with that about you if that's something that even would interest you. You're just provoking curiosity, kind of funneling the conversation down more and more. So this is going to be, I guess, a controversial part of maybe this framework and what I've done, which is where we actually like pitched people in the DMs. This goes against all conventional training, appointment setting courses, whatever you've seen online, people say like never pitch your services in the DMs because it's just not conventional sales. But there's a reason why it works very, very well, in my opinion, which is that it sets the expectation for how the set call is going to go. Because I guess what I've seen a lot, and I've genuinely reviewed a lot of other appointment setters' messages and seen how people do things, is that a lot of the times people will book leads onto calls without really an expectation of what they're getting. They just end the conversation with like, oh, hey, so would you be down to see how we can help you do this? And they say yes. And then they get on this call and they're just expecting help and guidance, and they aren't really expecting you to necessarily sell them something. So in my opinion, by kind of creating this overview of your offer and kind of providing it in like a pitch in the messages, it kind of sets the tone for, hey, look, this is something I can genuinely help you with, but this is also a service we provide, and there probably is going to be an investment kind of required into that as well. So it's just setting that tone, like creating a bit of status and authority before you've even got them on the call, so they kind of know what to expect, and it does a better job for the close as well. So if you're an appointment setter, you're going to make your closer happy by doing this, I promise. So what we did with this is just basically break down your offer into a couple of like summarized bullet points. So if you're a fitness coach, again, going back to that example, you could just say like, oh, we've got a customized training plan, so there's no confusion around what you need to do each day to get the results you're looking for. We also offer a meal plan and supplements with that, so you can be sure that your kind of diet is aligned with your goals, isn't preventing you from making progress. You're also going to get access to a one-on-one coach so that you can stay accountable to your plan and have someone to, I guess, relieve any specific worries or questions on the process throughout your journey. Just like list 3 or 4 quick bullet points, just a quick summary, and then just say, is that something you'd be interested in coming to explore further? Now, there's normally 2 things that happen at this point, to be completely honest. One is they're going to be like, that sounds great. How can I come look into this more? How can I get started with this? In which case you can just jump straight to the book call. Great, here's your calendar, let's discuss this more in detail. But the thing I would get about 50% of the time is, this sounds great, but how much are you going to charge me with that? Because as I said, we've just pitched them, just giving them an overview of our service. They kind of naturally do say sometimes, sure, this sounds good, but is there a price for that? And yeah, just like I just came up with a very, very simple objection handle for this. It's just basically, you don't want to brush it off and say, let's discuss that on the call, but you're just giving them as a good reason as to why you can't provide an exact price in the DMs right here and now. So what I like to do is just say, yeah, I totally understand that. So look, the way we do things is pretty customized, to be honest, like around what you're specifically looking to achieve. We've got a few different packages, options you can choose, and we have different ways we can break the investment down for you as well. So it doesn't even really make sense to me just to give you one upfront price in the messages. But then move on to the book call. Hey, so look, if you're just interested in this and interested in coming to find out more about what the investment into that might look like, please schedule a call with my team and we can dive deeper into this for you, see more on your situation and see how we can best help you. And then just send them the calendar, let them book the call, and then just send them the pre-call materials, whatever you send between them booking and them actually getting on the call. That is basically the framework. It's very, very simple in my opinion, but I've booked hundreds and hundreds of calls with it at this point. It works day in and day out. I've never, ever had any issue with it. So yeah, it's absolutely worked wonders. I guess the other thing I haven't really talked about yet is like follow-up as well, because occasionally when you are doing DM setting, you will get a lot of people who sort of disengage halfway through the conversation, people who throw objections, then don't come back to you. There's stuff that can happen. But that's something I guess I wanted to touch on as well with kind of follow-up and re-engaging leads. And something that I've specifically seen a lot of other setters maybe not quite get is that people just tend to push people back into conversation. It's like, hey, are you getting my message? Are you going to respond to me on this? Where are you? Have I lost you? It's like just sending things to them just to help like prompt them into seeing their message and replying. I tried that when I first started out when I didn't know what I was doing, but to be honest, I didn't really find it super effective. I kind of figured out what is quite effective is that you want to be slightly triggering and agitating when you're kind of following up with your leads, because this kind of it kind of pokes their ego and naturally gets them to want to come back and give a response to what you just said. So they're kind of different levels to this. You can be mild with it. I guess you can be ruffling, which is like maybe a little bit more agitating, or you can just straight up be agitating. And I have actually done this. I have actually closed people, closed follow-ups from sales calls we've had in the DMs using agitating messages. So it can be done. It is effective. It's quite fun when it works as well. So yeah, mild is just like, hey, we'd be keen to catch up on this. Just like reply to them your last message. We'd be keen to catch up on this, or let me know when you're around to discuss this. It's quite non-intrusive, quite non-offensive, straightforward. Ruffling is like reply to one of the old messages, being like, oh, is this still of interest? Just like reply to one of the golds. I want to lose 10 pounds of fat. Just like, hey, is this still of interest? Are you even still looking at doing this? Or is this still a priority, or like has something changed, Or like, haven't heard from you in a while, assume this isn't a priority anymore. It's just, you're just poking them a little bit, just having a bit of fun. And then yeah, straight up agitating is, I referenced what someone says. I went back and watched a sales call, watched what someone said, and so I said, hey, I remember you were looking to make a move on this in the next 2 weeks. Are we still going ahead with this, or are we giving up on being the person we said we would be? That I got a response from that in 30 minutes. So I hadn't heard from a person in like 2 weeks. That got a response in 30 minutes. So if that's the level you have to go to close deals, sometimes it has to be done. Maybe they appreciate it, maybe they don't, but it definitely works for sure. So yeah, that is kind of like how to do follow-up, how to re-engage with leads. And then yeah, just like bonus tips as well. I kind of referenced like organic content as well. That is super, super effective, especially when you're DM setting. Just go onto the business YouTube channel, the business owner's YouTube channel, and you can specifically intersect this whole framework with just like videos on any objections they may have, or any topics that they don't quite understand. So yeah, if your business owner isn't putting out organic content, get them to do that, because you can just objection handle and nurture people with as many videos as you need until they're kind of ready to buy from you, basically. And it just includes them back into the ecosystem. They're watching your videos, they're going to see a call to action in the description. They're going to book a call. So it just gets people in your ecosystem, gets them watching content, and gets the whole process flowing. But yeah, that is it. That is an overview of the appointment setting scripts that has made 6 figures of revenue in 1 month for a business. I will leave a link to it in the description below in case you want to read through it again and just copy it for yourself. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Take care.